Hey there, welcome. We have this 2011 Subaru, and the power seat on the passenger side won't move. I mean, it moves on the left, but it won't move on the right. Here the motor, which is on the left, conveys the power through this flexible cable, a lot like a speedometer cable, over to the track on the right side, the passenger door side. In any case, if someone jams a purse or a water bottle under there, it spins and it buggers up the end of this cable. And unfortunately, this length cable isn't available. It's available for other year Subarus. There's some generic cables available, but this 11-inch, 279 point something millimeter cable just isn't available. So what we did is we took our good old MIG welder here, and why not just weld a new end on there? I think a little bit of grinding, we should be able to get match the square end on the other side, which is the dimension that the seat drive requires. So let's see, when we apply a little grinding to this, if these fat booger welds don't have enough meat on them to give us the grip we need. Let's see. Well, not my best work, but let's see if she'll fly. See if I can get it to focus. Come on, focus. So it's relatively square on the end. So let's do a test fit into the drive socket and see how it works out. Well, unfortunately, it's just a little too fat yet, but I guess a little too fat instead of too thin. So let's take a bastard file to this and see if we can't square that off a bit, maybe round the tip so it goes in a little friendlier, or take the square edge off the tip once we get it a little closer to square. Wish I had a gauge to do this outside of the car instead of leaning under the seat, but that's how it is. I'm just using this small bastard file. It's fairly coarse for what it is, but I'm also filing on this rubber mat because this is a flexible object. By pressing down into the rubber, it keeps it from rocking back and forth and maximizes my efficiency. I think we've got a pretty good square shape right there. Fortunately, the unscrewed up end of the cable is useful as a guide, and a little bit of the square taper, maybe taper is not the right word, but the square dimension is residual on the funky wrapped up looking portion of the cable there. We do have a little bit of a tip up there, so I'll knock that off and then we'll try it out. I didn't get to catch the final steps getting this thing working on video. It's my son's car, and he was in a mad rush to get somewhere, and frankly, we weren't positive it was going to work, so I didn't film it along the way. In any case, I'll give you a brief synopsis. So the synopsis of getting this thing finally to work, I ended up using my bench grinder to square off the driven end of the cable a little bit more precisely. That would allow it to fit in to the square hole on the drive on this outer rail here. However, when I trial fitted the cable, it had a bit of a bulge in it. It wasn't going in all the way, and while it would work, it would slap around. It probably wouldn't have worked for long, wouldn't have fit into the plastic containing device. So I ground it a little farther down the shaft, ground the square into it a little farther down the shaft, and then it fit in all the way. We had unbolted the seat, left it hooked up, left the wires hooked up, of course. We simply tipped the seat back for access as I was doing the final fitment. So once I grounded a little further, it would go in all the way, it would fit straight across, and it would operate both sides. So what I did was took it out one last time and I centered the seat. So the passenger side wouldn't be moving, but looking at the other seat and looking at the travel on the motor side, on the left rail, I got that about as centered as I could visually. And then I hooked up the cable with its plastic coverings and everything once and for all. And before we bolted the seat down, I did run the seat up all the way and make sure both rails were bottoming out or close to bottoming out before calling it done and putting the seat back in. So one more thing I might have done in hindsight would have been to run the seat back all the way to the full travel in the back direction, just to make sure that we're not putting additional winds into the driven cable or into the cable and twisting it up further. In any case, that's what we did, and it seems to be working, and not too bad for a beater, I guess. Cheers. So here's the finished product. All is well.